You read the title right. I converted practically everyone, including the professor, into a Mili fan with just one song. This is an exaggeration, of course. If you're disappointed, feel free to leave, but if you want to hear the full story, then you're free to stay too. Anyways, let's start. As some of you may know, I, Renata Norcross, runaway Manhattan Noble, used to be a music technology minor in university. It was pretty fun for the most part. I got to figure out why some of my favorite songs sounded so good, and I also figured out I was incredibly socially inept and needed medication, but that's besides the point. It was a fun course, and I learned a lot. But again, that's besides the point. What we're trying to get to here is how Emile Sinclair Limbus Company earned me brownie points amongst my peers and professor. One semester, I had a free spot open to take another class. I technically didn't have to since I was already taking 5 classes, but I wanted to try hard, so I took an elective class about large console mixing or something. Anyways, the class was about mixing on large systems, in case I didn't make that obvious, and for our midterm exam, we had to set up and tune a system. Tuning a system basically means adjusting the frequencies so they sound nice and making sure the audio makes sense at every level of the way. Pretty simple, pretty fun, and the best part was that we could pick our own songs. Now, see, in case I haven't made it obvious, I'm super introverted. I had to script these videos because I'm bad at improv, and if you see my collabs, I barely talk. This will come in play later. Anyways, during class, the professor would let us students use songs from our own playlist to study for the test. It was pretty fun. A lot of it was volunteer-based, so me being me, I didn't really volunteer. At one point though, we all had to go up so we could study, so when it came to my turn, I used Between Two Worlds. Why Between Two Worlds? At the time, it was my favorite Project Moon Mili song, and I'd been looping it non-stop for days. Plus, I learned all the vocal parts, and I thought being able to listen for each individual part would be a big boon on the test. Here's the part where it sounds like a Reddit story. Immediately after, the professor asked me what song it is and who's the composer. I meekly say Mili, but I'm quiet as hell, so he can't hear me. I repeat myself, but he ends up just coming up to my station to look at my phone instead. Isn't that crazy? I think that's crazy. But it doesn't end there. The other students were nodding their heads when I got back to the main room, and they told me it was a good song. And then, on the day of the test, the guy who went before me, who wasn't there for the past few classes because of a presentation, also asked me for the song. Isn't that crazy? Between Two Worlds did help me on the test, by the way. Knowing the 4 parts of the song really helped with fine-tuning the frequencies. I ended up getting an A, I'm pretty sure. There were 2 other songs I used, and while I did forget the 3rd song I used, I know I used Backdraft from Milgram as well, and my professor said it was a good song for middle frequencies. The more you know, I guess. So yes, that's how I low-key converted a college class into Between Two Worlds fans. Maybe they became Mili fans, maybe they even became Project Moon fans, but I don't keep up with any of them anymore, so I wouldn't know. Anyways, if you enjoyed that little story, make sure to like and subscribe, but only if you want to. It's totally optional. And with that, I will be ending the video here. This part isn't scripted because I didn't write that far ahead, and I kind of opened the OBS really fast, and I didn't need to add that part in, but whatever. Pandering for time, bye! Yay! Wee!